Good evening, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because for every subscriber, I get a new subscriber and I read a page from a book of my choice. So if this video gets 15 likes, I will read a book by Colleen Hoover, and you might know that I really dislike the romance genre, so I'd do anything for the likes. However, make sure to leave a like for me to do that, and I'll also review it on this channel, of course. In today's video, I am going to be reviewing a book called If Cats Disappeared from the World by the author Genki Kawamura. So this is a book translated from the Japanese by Eric Selland. And needless to say, I bought this because of the cat on the cover. However, I was quite disappointed to see that very little of the book was actually about the disappearance of cats. And regardless, I rated this 200-paged book 4 stars because of the way it ended, particularly. And I'll get to that in a few moments. So, I mentioned how it's such a sweet book that brought up so many thought provoking questions. However, I am quite saddened by the fact that such a small part of the book is about the disappearance of cats, as I was hoping that their absence would cause a 200-paged masterpiece of turmoil, and instead we only got about a chapter and a half um, of the entire book regarding cats. And it's interesting to say that in one of the chapters, Cabbage the cat was actually allowed to speak by the devil, so we got an insight into the cat's mind as well, which was quite interesting. I hadn't seen that um, in other books for quite a long time now. The main character, who remains unnamed, decides to make phones, movies, and clocks as well disappear from the world. So everybody has to suffer the consequences of this disappearance just for the guy to live an additional 3 days. And in my opinion, this is a complete asshole move, and it's one decision, or three rather, which I wouldn't have made myself. Um, it would have been absolutely different were he to be the only one impacted by the decisions he made, and from a utilitarian perspective, he disgraced the entire human race 3 times with his uh, deals with the devil, I suppose. At the end of the day, this isn't particularly about cats, but rather about being able to appreciate life and to never take your days for granted, because you can never really tell whether they are numbered or not. What I didn't immediately understand, and which made this book quite confusing at first, perhaps also the reason why I gave it 4 stars instead of five, and why I was originally going to give it 3 stars, is that it is the devil who decides what disappears from the world, and it is he who gives the main character the choice of whether to make what he chooses disappear or not. Um, for the main character's life to be extended by a day. So it isn't the main character's choice regarding what to make disappear in order to prolong his life. It was quite confusing at first, as I thought that the protagonist, who ends up being more of a tragic hero, I suppose, would be able to decide. And if this were the case, and if it was my decision, I'd personally rather die than inflict so much suffering upon others, especially when I'm taking away the concept of time from them, mobile phones, and movies, which, okay, you don't particularly need, but they are quite essential to live in a world filled with turmoil nowadays. Um, and I think I would have come up with a list of so many useless things to eliminate from the world. Um, I probably would have been able to live forever rather than an extra 3 days. Some things that I can mention right off the top of my head are Amy Schumer, Dust, World Hunger and Poverty, Wars, the extremely flawed education system, extremely high tax rates, and guns, just to name a few. And I'm sure that you can list many others in the comment section, useless things which we could do without as a species, I suppose. The devil is certainly a pain and also strives to be misconstrued by the main character. And the disappearance of time or of clocks is rather significant in my opinion, and serves as a metaphor or an allegory, I suppose, due to how it also represents the disappearance of the protagonist's father, from his life, since his job had to do with repairing clocks. And this isn't a coincidence, definitely not. You'll understand this better if you actually decide to read the book. Um, Whether or not there was a proper resolve between the two is left for the reader to decide, and whether they fixed their relationship isn't explained very clearly, left rather open endedly, if I say so myself. And regardless, the way this ends is rather saddening and almost brought tears to my eyes. Um, so, One thing, I'm not sure whether this can be considered a spoiler or not, but feel free to skip ahead if you think it might be. We find out that apart from the book being written in epistolary form, so in the form of letters from the protagonist to the reader, it is also a series of quite personal letters to his father. And this is absolutely my interpretation of the way this is written, which is rather logical considering that the main character is a postman. I would recommend, if you're a fan of The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa, or The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa, or even both of them for all I care, because it's a book I'm certain you'll enjoy if you love the other authors I mentioned. I read this book in a single day. I mean, 200 pages took me a couple of hours to get through. The chapters are extremely long, which might be something you don't like, but you'll find that you wouldn't want to stop reading it, I suppose, because of the way you're kept on edge regarding what will happen, even though you might have a fleeting thought that cats would disappear or that the main character would die, and there's always this balance that the author tries to reach between the two until the conclusion, where you will see what happens when you read the book. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out my other videos, my shorts, my live streams, my community tabs, my playlists, and do anything you can to help make this channel grow bigger, create a larger community of readers to enjoy my videos and my content in general, so that we can get a silver play button by middle of next year, by July of 2024, by the time the Book of Bill comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one very, very soon. Bye, guys.